Israel. This is Barazal coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the hopeful elect pushers word and truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This is going to be a quick lesson titled The Sin or the City of Sin, right? It's just a quick one. So I got this article pulled up on endtimeheadlines.org. Let's close this. Okay, so this is endtimeheadlines.org. It says Australian parents pull children from school after a graphic class teaching about bestiality. I don't know what to say here. This place is it's just waxing worse and worse. And actually, you know what? Let me just get that. Waxing. I'm using my tablet because usually I use my phone, but my phone is down right now. So, Yabashino Shai Ratazat that I have my tablet as a backup. And surprisingly, I found that my tablet is actually better equipped for doing videos. So I might start doing this more. Right? Waxing worse. No? Okay, let's try waxing. No, that's not. Amen, the brother in the Lord, waxing confident in my bond. No. Worse. Oh, okay, there we go. What do you have, Shai? So, 2 Timothy 3 and 13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. So, let me click on this. Let's see the whole thing. Right? So, yeah, so I read it again. 2 Timothy 3 and 13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse. So, this country called America, Babylon the Great, Sodom, Egypt, right? Nineveh, Rome, New Rome, right? Greece, this country is just getting worse and worse. And you remember when we were in 2020? Were they talking about this stuff in schools? Were they teaching it? No, they weren't. They were not teaching this stuff in schools, right? Because if they did, you would have heard about it. But now we're in 2024. Doesn't it seem like everything has accelerated? Right? Doesn't it seem like that? I mean, that's scriptures. Let me pull that up. Right? But they're waxing worse and worse. Deceiving meaning deceived. And the thing is, the reason why they're attacking the kids is because once you get the kids, you get the next generation. And once you get the next generation, then you have the next generation. Then the one after that. Because now that generation is going to be teaching that to their kids. Right? That's why when you take over a nation, that's why, I should say it like this. That's why when these Edomites or these colonizers or these Puritans, when they came to the Western world and they killed and slaughtered and genocide all the Israelites. When I say Israelites, I'm talking about the Gads, so the Indian tribes and the native Indian tribes, right? Then you have Issachar, Ephraim, right? The Latin tribes in South America, right? And then you have the Southern Kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, right? What they did with them and what they always did, they always separated the parents and took the kids, because once they took the kids, what they did, actually they did with all the nations, they indoctrinated them, they indoctrinated them into their schools and taught them their ways and their religions and their way of life, right? So since they got the kids, what happens when that generation grows up? Then they're going to learn that stuff and they're going to teach their kids. Then they're going to put their kids in their schools. And that's how they get them. You attack the kids. That's how you get the generation and the generation after and moving forward. So it's the same shit they're doing right now. but they're doing it to their own people, right? These are a lot of Edomite kids in these schools, and they're teaching the same stuff to them. So it's not even just about Israel anymore. They just want the whole world to be under this doctrine, this vibration, right? New world government, right? That's what it's part of. This is part of that, because these guys at the top, they all believe in this stuff. They all believe in bestiality and all these other things. Like you got the alphabet gang, right? And I mentioned that in the article, right? Um, Saying every gender, there's multiple genders. You can be with the same gender, all this stuff, right? So obviously, when you're in a kingdom, right, and you're being ruled by a kingdom, you're gonna have to follow the rules and religions, or they're gonna try to enforce the rules and religions of the people that have you as captives, as prisoners, right? So the people that own this world, right? People that own this world, they're wicked, and that's why all this shit is being pushed on the planet, because they're wicked. I believe it's Job 7. It could be wrong. No. Hands. It's not the one I'm looking for. The hands, the wicked. It's not the one. Right? It's in Job. I just can't remember where. But you say that Yahweh hath delivered me to the ungodly and turned me over into the hands of the wicked. So that's another scripture. But yeah. So we're delivered to the ungodly. Right? The ungodly. They don't believe in the Most High. They do believe he exists, but at the same time, they don't fear him. You see how fucked that is? Right? And that's why the planet is the way it is. That's why the ecosystems are destroyed, the the oceans are destroyed, the air is destroyed, the earth is destroyed, right? The planets are destroyed, the animals are destroyed, the people are destroyed, the foundations, even the buildings are destroyed, right? Even if you go on roads, like you have potholes and shit like that, like simple things like that, that shows you this infrastructure is done, this place is done, right? That's not the one I want. I know what the cover. See, Job. No, you know what? Slakia. Judges. That should be what I need. Nope. There you go. Job 9 and 24. Slakia. Thwadi Yahushua Shai. Yeah, so Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So why do you think the planet is the way it is right now? Because the wicked are ruling. The Yahweh Hashem Yahushai gave this planet into the wicked. Because you know what? Yahweh Yahushai is a balanced power. Every nation has had their time to rule. Believe it or not, they have. Right? And every nation, I should say, has also had their time to have Israel in captivity. You know? So right now, the wicked, who are quote unquote called the wicked, they're not even going based off what the nation they are. They're called the wicked, are in rulership right now. So it's pretty easy to figure out who are the wicked are, because who's in rule, who has all the benefits, who has all the power, who has all the luxuries right now. Which people? Is it the so-called black people? Is it the so-called Asian people? Is it the so-called Indian people? Right? Is it the so-called white people? Right? We already know the answer to this. And you can tell by like how they get away with everything. Right? Everything is just it's this planet right now, this earth right now is designed for them to succeed and to flourish and to prosper. And that's okay. That's okay. Because at one point in time we had them in slavery. Right? That's okay. They're the wicked. They're doing it. The Most High gave them this time to rule, right? Like I said, he's a balanced power. But their rulership's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. And you can see it. Like, I don't know what else you need to watch in the planet to see that this place, this system is coming to an end. And they're trying to save it. They're desperately trying to save this system, right? That's why they're moving so quickly with everything. And their main objective is to give everyone the C-HIP, right? To give them the RFID, right? That MOTB. That's what the MOTB is. It's that C-HIP that's going to go in your right hand or your hands, because in the scripture it also says hands. If you read it, I think it's in Revelation 14. So people say, oh, well, it's not going in my right hand, so that's not what it is, right? The reason why John said right hand is because when he saw it in the vision, majority of people that were getting it were in the right hands, and majority of people on the planet are right-handed. That's the reason why he said right hand. But then also it goes into scripture. It says, the next chapter, it says hands. Because obviously you can put in your left hand if you're left-handed, but majority of people on the planet are not left-handed. They're right-handed. So that's why he saw majority of them was getting the right hand, right? Just makes common sense, right? So that's their main objective. Their main objective is to get everyone C-HIP, especially the elect, okay? Because they're the wicked. Right? So it says the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. So the wicked are ruling right now. That's why in that article, which I'm going to come back to very quickly, it's talking about they're teaching bestiality in schools. And they're trying to normalize that. Notice how they do everything. They bring it out slowly and slowly and slowly till you get, it becomes normal to you, where you're not fighting back against it. Even though what this is wicked. Even though what this is, you should be fighting against it. But because it's been slowly pushed on you, right? And you got time to adjust to it. Even though you might have resisted at first, you got time to adjust to it. And then they push a little bit more. Then you adjusted to it. Then they push a little bit more. Then you adjusted to it. Now, you don't feel that urge to fight. Now, there still are people that are still against it, but majority of the masses are not, right? And that's what they call that gradualism. Okay? So it says, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. Who are the faces of the judges? Those are the Israelites, right? Those are the tribes. Those are the what? And you know what the funny thing is? They did that. They covered the faces of the judges. But what just happened recently? Putin just uncovered the faces of the judges, right? That's what he did. So they did this when in the Renaissance period. That's what this scripture is talking about. This is the Renaissance period when they came back into power. That's what this is referring to, really, right? Because when he came into power, they took down the Israelites because of I think it was the Black Plague at the time, took down all the Israelites that were ruling in England, or not England, but in Europe at the time. Hence why it was called the Dark Ages, because dark people were ruling. And also it was called Dark Ages because it was dark time for these Edomites, these so-called white people. They were going through a dark time because they were slaves. They were on the bottom. So when they came back into power, right, the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. They covered up the faces of the judges, however. How they cover up the faces? Through the Renaissance, right? Through the coloring and bleaching of all the ancient artifacts and pictures and documents. They painted everything over and made it look like they were the people, that they were the Israelites, that they were the angels, that they were the Most High, that they were the Most High Son, right? That they are the holy people, when they're not. They're the wicked, right? So if you know the history, like the apostles always say, if you know the history, you understand the mystery. Right? And it's a process of elimination. It only points to one group of people that did that. Right? And when I say so-called white people, I'm talking about Edomites. Right? Esau, Edom, Idumea. Right? Just because someone looks like a so-called white person doesn't mean that they're Edomite. Because remember, it goes back to the seed of the father. And it's very easy. It only takes like 2 generations for that the melanin to be removed in that bloodline. Like if I had a kid, because I'm a dark skinned, I'm very dark skinned. I look, Negro looking, so to speak, dark skin. So if I had a kid with a Edomite looking woman, right? She could be a Jake, but she's an Edomite looking woman. That's why I said Edomite looking, right? My kid's gonna come out with lighter, fairer skin, right? His skin's gonna be lighter. And then let's say that son I have has a kid with he also gets involved with another Edomite looking woman. Then he has a kid. Now that kid's gonna come with fairer skin, right? That kid could come out looking like an actual pure Edomite with blonde hair and blue eyes, right? And let's say that doesn't happen. Then let's say that son that he had has a kid with another Edomite looking woman. And for sure at that time, over time, eventually, whether it's the third or fourth, wherever it is, it's going to happen where that child is going to look like an Edomite. They're going to have blonde hair, blue eyes, look Edomite looking skin, but they're actually a Jake in the spirit. And you know how you can tell is by their spirit, how they move. Because Israel just stands out wherever they go. They can't hide. Right? Because Israel has flavor. They're the salt of the earth. So, but yeah, that's who these people are. So that's why this planet it's in the state that it's in right now. Because the wicked are ruling. Right? There's a scripture that says when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Roughly paraphrasing, right? So the reason why this whole world is in torment, there's wars, there's no peace, there's chaos, everything like that, is because the wicked are ruling. They're wicked. That's their job. They're not about righteousness. They're about wickedness. They're not about balance. They're about chaos, right? That's all they push. They're not about the Bible. They're about the you can say the anti Bible. They're not about Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. They're about Satan and the devil, right? That's who they are. So when you're looking at this planet, you're like, oh, this place is because of the people that are ruling. That's why. But like I said, that rulership is coming to a quick end, right? So that's why they're like I said, that's why I said from 2020 to now, it seems like everything is accelerated, right? Everything's accelerated for just within 4 years, especially the stuff they're pushing into the schools, everything. Is because they know they don't have a short time. Now I'm just going to read that one real quick before I go back to the article. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, which is Esau Edom, right? He's also referred to as the devil. And the funny thing about the devil, we know in just in the society, they always paint the devil as a red person, a red guy with horns. Well, Esau, right? That goes back into the word. Also goes into the word red. Or I think it's Edom that goes into the word red. One of the two. No, Esau is wasted away is he, right? I think Edom goes into the word red. Edom goes into the word red. So that points to only one group of people. Which group of people on the planet are red? Right? It's the so-called white people. Because they lack the melanin in their skin, the pigment in their skin, so when they blush, that's their blood that you're seeing through their skin. So they turn red. Right? But like I said, and I'll say it again, just because you look like an Edomite doesn't mean you are an Edomite. It's all about your spirit. But when I say as a people, I'm talking about the white people. Those are the Edomites as a people, right? Have a great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, right? So that's why he's moving so quickly with everything. And he hasn't even shown his horns yet, because he's going to show his horns. When he shows his horns is when we have the martial law, when we have the lockdowns are going to come back again. Everyone thinks those are done. They're going to come back, right? You got martial law. You got the purge. That's why they push these movies, because they're trying to normalize it to you, right? By gradualism, they push these movies and these shows, right? Because that's brainwashing you into getting comfortable with seeing this. So when it happens in real life, you're not going to freak out as much, right? That's the reason why they do all this stuff, because the purge is going to real. That's going to happen, right? The race wars, that's going to happen. It's already been happening, but it's going to happen. It's going to be full out. The civil wars, that's going to happen. It's going to be full out. That's also part of the reason why they've been taking away people's guns, right? Because they're planning. But you don't know, you're not 10 steps ahead of them. That's why you can't see what they're doing. But the scriptures, the Bible tells you what they're going to do before they do it, right? That's where they're moving like that. So when it comes, martial law, race wars, wait, you don't have your guns because they took them away. Wow, what a coincidence. Right? Anyways, so let's get back. I kind of went into different topics. But, that happens sometimes. Okay. So back to this. It says, Australian parents pull children from school after graphic class teaching about bestiality. And it said a graphic class. So they're probably having videos. Who knows what they're showing? Right? Who knows what they're showing in the class? Right? And this is the kingdom. This is the place that we live in. They say this is a God-fearing kingdom. Okay, but which God do you guys fear? You don't fear the Most High. You don't fear Yahweh. You don't fear his son Yahweh Shai. You don't fear the God of the Bible. You fear a different God. You fear the God they fear is Satan, right? Because if they fear the Most High, they wouldn't be pushing this into schools, right? And this is why. Let me just pull this scripture real quick before we get into this article. So Leviticus 18 and 23. So Leviticus 18:23. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast, to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. Right? This is the scriptures. This is the Bible. This is the God that they claim to fear, to follow. Right? And if you're someone who's in a Catholic church or Christian church and they're saying bestiality is okay, well, obviously these people are they're liars. They're liars. They're wicked. They're devils, right? And they're antichrist because there's not one antichrist. Everyone that's against Yahweh Shai, against the scriptures, against the Bible, that's an antichrist. So there's multiple antichrists. It's not just one man that's going to appear or any. No, there's multiple antichrists. Anyone that's against the Messiah, right? Yahweh Shai is an antichrist because you're antichrist. You're anti him. You're opposite of him. You're against him. That's what it means, right? So we're gonna go to Leviticus 20 and 15. It says, and let me read it again. And if a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death. Right? That's the laws. If a man lie with a beast, he should surely be put to death. And that also means women too. It's not just man. It just says man there, but that's man and woman, obviously. Let's not be a dummy. Oh, that means that a woman can do it. No, that means man and woman. Right? If a man is subject to these laws, why wouldn't a woman be subject to these laws? When I just read earlier what it said about a woman. Right? So this is the judgment. You get put to death. And ye shall slay the beast. And you have to kill that beast because that beast is defiled too. Right? So let's I think there's also verse 16. Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. And it talks about women. And if a woman approach unto any beast and lie down thereto, thou shalt kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Yep. Exactly. So that's just fucked up. So it says, okay, hold on. What is this? All these ads. So it says, what comes after the alphabet gang? In the rainbow, alphabet being taught to captive children. That's funny. Many critics of the movement assumed it would be P for... yeah, that's another thing, right? They're pushing that. So I'm not going to say it because they might clip the video, but they're pushing that also. They're trying to normalize that. Right? So that's I said, this is the kingdom that we live in. And you people, you masses, you fucking sheep don't want to you're okay with this. You just go along to get along. Right? You're okay with this. The government's pushing this stuff on you, the kids, but you said the government's for the people. The government's here to protect us. But you still believe the government's here to take care of you, to take care of your health, but yet they're pushing this amongst the kids. This is the same government that pushed that medicine 4 years ago. But you trusted them too. And what information came up on that medicine? People dropping dead, people getting heart attacks, people getting cancer, people having aneurysms, people having strokes, right? People getting cerebral palsy and these other diseases. But that's the same government that you claim that says is here to help you, right? But they're here to help. And then they came up with the same information saying that you didn't even need to take those medicines, right? Having the antibodies was suffice. You don't need it. Right? That's what I said. It was all like, anyways, I could talk about this all day, man. You kind of deserve what you get when you want to be willfully ignorant. And the scriptures say to what about an ignorant person? Just leave them alone. They want to be ignorant, let them be ignorant still, roughly paraphrasing. Right? So it says, and in some places it is, but in Australia it seems that B might be the next letter added to ever-long list of sexual and gender deviance. Right? So they're going to add the B now, which B stands for bestiality. That's what they're implying. And that's why they said P for, It says, according to whistleblowers and outraged parents, children as young as 13 in a South Australia school were forcibly taught about sexual activities with animals as part of, I'm not going to say that. The revelations drew an outrage from parents and half-hearted apologies from education. Half-hearted apology. Yeah, they're only apologizing because they got caught, right? They're only apologizing because they got caught. If they didn't get caught, why would they apologize, right? They knew exactly what they're doing. It's only because the parents caught on to what was going on because they probably asked their children, "What did you learn in school?" Or maybe the kids just told them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're sorry. Yeah, you know, uh, yeah, you're right. That we shouldn't have showed those videos and stuff like that." You know, that's how they apologize, like half-assed, right? They knew what they were doing. I told you there's an agenda that's being pushed. There's an agenda, and they're pushing it very fast. Um, that's it on that. I mean, you can read the whole article. I don't need to read this because you know what? They might clip the video if I keep going with that. So let's go. But you can see, like, I don't need to keep reading. That's enough. And I don't even want to read all of it. So let's go to Exodus. Exodus 22 and 19. Exodus 22. Oh, whoa. Exodus 22 and 19. Whosoever lieth with a beast shall surely be put to death. And this is Yahweh Bahashem Yoshai's laws, who people call God, right? Who ignorantly call his son Jesus Christ. These are the laws, right? But you can't say you're a believer of God and ignorantly who you call Jesus Christ. You can't say you're a believer of them, but then be okay with this, right? That's contradicting. That's confusion, right? And Most High said that he's not the author of confusion. That's Satan that's the author of confusion. So that means you believe in Satan. Really, at the end of the day, if you're okay with these things, you believe in Satan, whether you are aware of it or not, whether you want to accept it or not, you believe in Satan. That's just the reality, right? Um, yeah, it's just I don't know. Kind of gets to the point when when is enough? Enough is enough, you know. Enough is enough. Okay, so let's go back here. We're in First Corinthians. First Corinthians 10 and 20. First Corinthians 10 and 20. But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils, you see, and not to Yahweh. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils, right? So when it says Gentiles, I think actually, you know what? It might be talking about, it could be talking about Israelite foreigners here, but I think it's talking about the heathen nations. That'd make more sense. Because there's two types of Gentiles in the sense of the word. But when you look up the word, there's two different words under the word Gentile. Because remember, it was written in a different language. It was written in Greek or Latin, Greek, Latin, or Hebrew, right? And they translated it to the closest word that would fit in that sentence, right? But that's where you got to look up the word and find out what it actually means, what the actual word that was there, what the actual word Slakia, what actual word was actually there in the ancient scriptures, right? There you go, kind of tongue twister. Okay, so Gentiles. Okay. Gentiles. Ethnos. It says a multitude, whether of men or beasts, associated or living together, a company, troop, swarm, multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus, the human family, a tribe, nation, people group, right? In the Old Testament, nations not worshiping the true power, pagans, Gentiles. Paul used the term for Gentile Christians, right? I know there's two. right? So whether it was referring to pagans, like actual heathen Gentiles, or the Gentiles of other nations, you know, or sorry, Israelite foreigners, because it says, "But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to Yahweh. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils." Right? You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. You cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and the table of devils. Right? Right. So regardless if it's talking about Gentiles, I believe it's talking about the heathen nations, because it says group of people, a genius of the same family. Right? Because I know for Gentiles is another word, but either way, right? You don't want to be claiming that you believe in the Most High and going to and praising Him and stuff like that, but then you're okay with these things. You're okay with bestiality and these other stuff, right? Because that's contradicted. Like it says you cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. You can't do that. So you got to pick one. You can't drink both, because you're gonna be rejected of Yahweh Shem Yoshai, right? So if you claim you believe in the Most High and are a follower of Him, you can't be okay with that. Doesn't matter if you do like, oh well, it's okay, it's not a big deal, they're not bothering me. No, you're saying you're a follower of the Yahweh Shem Yoshai. You're saying you're a follower of God. You're saying you're a follower of who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. But then you're saying you're okay with those things. The alphabet gang. That's contradicting, because in the scriptures it's strictly and clearly states that if you do of those things that are part of the alphabet gang, you're gonna be put to death. Right? He says that's abomination. You're gonna be put to death. So how can you be okay with that, but then say you believe in the Most High? Right? That's what you're doing. You're being double-minded, and the scriptures say about double-minded man. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Right? Roughly paraphrasing. So I'm just gonna prove what I was saying real quick. Okay, so let's just see this right now. So you gotta look things up. If it's ethnos, then I was right about what I was saying. But I know there's another term. There's two different words. Just want to sure if this is the one. So, okay, yeah, ethnos. Okay, so I was correct. So yeah, he was referring to the Israelites when he was talking about Gentiles in that scripture that I just read, right? Because it says the same thing. It says a multitude, whether of men or beasts, associated or living together, a company, troop, swarm, a multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus, the human family, a tribe, right? Tribe. So that's a key word, tribe, right? So different tribe, right? Gentiles, nation, people, group, right? But I know there's another word. There's another word. Uh, uh, uh. Yeah, if anyone can find it. There's one that refers to the pagans or the heathens. It's going to bother me. I want to find this. Okay, let's just check this word, Gentiles, real quick. I know it's in here, and I'll probably, I'm not going to in this video, but oh, just triple checking my work. Yeah, see, ethnos again. So there's a different word. I just can't find it unless they took it out. Who knows? They actually might have taken it out because they kind of grouped this word as heathen nation, right? Because you have people that are in a Gentile state of mind, because Gentiles are you had Gentile nations, that people that were just heathens. They were actually not Israelites. They were just other nations, right? So I don't know if they took out that word and they replaced it just with this one, and they took the other uh, word for Gentile, which is part of the confusion that Esau does, right? Because there was a different word. I just don't remember what it was. But I remember looking this up and it popped up, right? Right? But like I was saying, you have Gentiles of the heathen nations, the other nations, which are heathens. But then you have Gentiles that are Israelite foreigners, right? And it's supposed to say Israelite foreigners, so I don't know if this is the right word I'm looking for. It could be, they could have changed it, for all I know, right? But when you look into the other word, it used to say Gentiles, Israelite foreigners that are basically in other lands, and they're called Gentiles because they're in heathen lands, right? And they had that heathen state of mind. So they had a mind of a heathen, but they weren't heathens. They were Israelites. So that's what they're referred to as Gentiles. But only that's why in the scriptures it talks about Gentiles can be saved. It's referring to those Gentiles, the Israelite foreigners, right? Because they're in that heathen state of mind. But I just, like I said, I think Esau did something where he changed the words. And if I'm wrong, if a brother sees this video, right, he can put the word where it is, because I know there was a different word. I know that. I'm not hallucinating or anything like that. But Esau changes things in the blue letter all the time. Even when I first came to the truth, there were certain words that were in here for a certain explanation, and they changed it. They took it out because they're trying to hide the truth, right? And the Bible Destruction Group is a lesson on that, where they knew to take and change key words in a scripture, because they know if they change that key word, that whole scripture is going to mean something different, right? And that's what they did over time. They gradually did it. But because we're coming out and we're doing these videos and these lessons talking about, especially going into the breakdowns and going into the words and looking up the words, they know we're doing that. So now they're changing the words again. Right? So it's okay. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Slack here for making it a little bit too long. No, but I did want to find it out. So I'm going to close out by saying, Kahala Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and to the hopeful light pushes his word and truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Abad Babal, Kwam Yashrala, and Shawwab.